I'll put another Swift Spear out. Swing here. We discard the mountain. Oh, I realized actually I should have just Wizard's Lightning. Wow, did I just mess that up? I hope that didn't screw me over for the loss. Hello my fiery friends, the Infernoman here with the latest in deck technology. And for today's deck tech, we're going to be re-looking at one of the other archetypes that is very popular in the historic format, which is the Izzet Wizards deck. But what has changed since the Lord of the Rings cards came out? Well, we're looking at this deck right now and I'm going to be calling it instead Izzet Temptation. But before we explain again what that even means, let's go over the stats of the deck real quick. So we're looking at a very low mana curve of about 1.6, wherein Izzet colors of blue and red. We're running 16 creature spells and we have 25 non-creature spells, specifically 5 instants and 20 sorceries with 19 lands. Now to answer the question we just simply put out there, which is what makes this deck different now with Lord of the Rings?
Good question.
We have now again the new mechanic that has been added in, which is the ring. So with our specific cards we're going to highlight, first off we're going to talk about Ranger's Firebrand and Birthday Escape. These two cards are actually replacing in the stable version of this deck Consider, which is usually the card where it allows us to draw a card and also surveil, and Ranger's Firebrand basically replaces the play with fire. The biggest downside of course of these cards is they're only sorcery speed, so your deck is going to feel a lot slower than the previous versions, but you might see that these cards are actually much more powerful, and we're going to look at today of whether or not this is actually true. So let's go ahead and cover these cards really briefly. So Ranger's Firebrand is basically a shock, just 2 damage to any target, and it has the new mechanic, the Ring Tempts you. Birthday Escape just allows us to draw a card, and same thing, it says the Ring Tempts you. Let's discuss real briefly again what the ring mechanic does. So for the first part of the ring, it says your ring bearer is legendary and cannot be blocked by creatures with greater power. If you get to level 2, it says whenever your ring bearer attacks, you draw a card and discard a card. At level 3, whenever your ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices it at the end of combat. And if you get to the final part, Part 4 says whenever the ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 lives. So ideally we want to try to cycle as fast as we can to get to level 4 of the ring so we can just burn out our opponent and win the game. However, even getting to level 2 is still pretty awesome because as you notice right here from that, it allows us to loot, which helps us really kind of filter through our deck and get to the spells we need to help get us to victory. So now that we have those out of the way, let's then discuss very briefly also the other parts of the deck that are mostly common to most of you who have already been playing in the historic format. So to no surprise, we're going to be using cards like Symmetry Sage, and because this is a budget deck, we're going to have to replace instead our Soulscar Mage with Monastery Swiftspear, but it has prowess and haste, so it still works just as well. We're of course going to have our copies of Dreadhorde Arcanist and Balamor Battle Mage Captain. These cards are no surprise to anybody. They will help us get a little bit of extra pump. They pump themselves up, or they sometimes help reutilize our instants and sorceries once again for free to get us some extra value out of the deck. As far as the spells we're going to be slinging, besides those Birthday Escapes and Ranger's Firebrand, we will also have copies of Reckless Charge, which gives our card a big pump and haste to of course do some more damage. A single copy of Spikefield Hazard, which we can either flip as a tap land, but also we can use it to do a little extra pinging of damage. As for our card draw and filtering, we have Mentor's Guidance. This of course can also copy itself, which gives us a big advantage since most of our cards are wizards with the exception of Monastery Swiftspear, but that's okay. You'll still get a maximum value out of it regardless. As far as the land base is concerned, we have 5 islands, 6 mountains, and our dual lands, which are Steam Vents and Sulphur Falls, to ensure that we get to what we need and cast it on time. For your sideboard, we have Tormod's Crypt as our graveyard hate. Slip out the back is going to be for a pump and protection. Some Spell Pierces are a counter spell in the early game. You see the Guard Brooch is going to be your tempo play if you really need to tap something or just give something protection. Lithomeric Barrage and Aether Gust are going to be mostly for color hate. For Lithomeric Barrage, this deals with our white and blue creatures and planeswalker decks out there. For Aether Gust, it's going to be for the red and green aggro creature decks out there. And finally, some Raise the Effigies, where we can pick off a single artifact, or if we have to, we can give one of our creatures as they're attacking some last minute pump to hopefully close out the game. In the sideboard, we also have a free roll in Jingoth the Wellspring, which is one of our final creatures. Doesn't really do anything synergistic with our deck. It's just basically a free roll, but even on a budget, it's still something that I would highly recommend just to put in, just to at least give you something extra to back your game plan up. But otherwise, that's basically the whole deck for you in a nutshell. It's not, again, doing anything new or revolutionary compared to the original version, but the biggest question, again, we need to figure out today is, are these Lord of the Rings cards going to be that much better than what we currently have? And we're about to find that out, so we're going to take a couple games in the format and see how well this deck performs. But before we continue, if you do like any of the content that I do, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content so you don't miss out on any of the gameplay, booster pack openings, deck decks, and so much more. Okay, my fire friends, here we go. We are playing our Izzet Temptation deck, which is Wizards, but using the Ring Tempts mechanic. And, well, okay, so we do have a 1-drop here and a 2-drop, and we do have some of our Lord of the Rings cards, so let's keep this and rock it. See if we can make this work. The only thing that's kind of awkward, I realize, is Sulfur Falls comes in taps, so it's okay. We'll still make that work. All right, so with that, Sulfur Falls coming in tapped. All right, Watery Grave again. Okay, so it's a mill deck. That's fine. We can deal with a mill deck. I'm not worried about that. So with that, Island. And we will play... How do we do this? Okay, so I think we're just going to have to go with Balmor right now. Okay, so we should have our big turn set up next turn to start doing our stuff. Lose the Unthinkable again. Alright, well, that's a lot of cards milled. We have half of our deck gone, but that's okay. We're still going to find a way to make this work, everybody. So with that, Spikefield Caves. We'll play Monastery Swiftspear. We will play Symmetry Sage. Go swinging here. You're down to 16. Okay. So our opponent, of course, is stumbling on mana, which is great for us. All we just need to do is just start going off with our cards. Founding of the Third Path. Number 1. Is it removal or is it more... Let's see. What are they picking? I think they have removal. They do. Annoying, but this is fine. Okay, so we have Birthday Escape too. All right, so here we go, everybody. Ranger's Firebrand. Give our Swiftspear the pump. We will choose our Monastery Swiftspear to be the ring bearer. We will play Ranger's Firebrand. I know, we had a Wizard's Lightning, but again, we're here to do one thing. We want the ring to tempt us. Put on Symmetry Sage for no real reason. Birthday Escape. Doesn't matter at this point. All we just need to do is just start doing our pump here. Ooh, okay, so we do have at least another land. Steam Vents. And... I'll put another Swiftspear out. Swing here. We discard the mountain. Oh, I realized actually I should have just Wizard's Lightning. Wow, did I just mess that up?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
I hope that didn't screw me over for the loss. Okay, everybody, it's fine. We'll still make it work. Ruin Crab. Oh, okay. Well, we didn't screw up too bad there. We still got the win. Yay, I'm happy about that. I thought I almost messed up there by not playing the Wizard's Lightning at first. Alright, my fiery friends, here we go. We are playing our Izzet Temptation deck, the Wizard's deck, but utilizing cards from Lord of the Rings. And we do have the cards from the Lord of the Rings here, which is nice, but we don't have the right mana to do this. I'm gonna actually mulligan and see if we get better. Okay. Oh, this is still awkward, the Sulfur Falls. Maybe I shouldn't have played Sulfur Falls in the deck. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Should we switch out those Sulfur Falls in later versions of the deck? I don't know, you tell me. I think we'll keep this though. We'll put back a Reckless Charge. This is gonna be so awkward though with 2 tap lands. Oh boy. Okay, it's fine everybody. We're gonna make it work. They have Interplanar Beacon, so are they a Super Friends deck? Oh, okay. They're the colorless ramp deck. Okay. We will find a way around this, everybody. Monastery Swiftspear. We have to be very fast here. If we can get at least one more land, at least an untapped land, we should be okay. Oh, they turned on Guardian Idol. Interesting. Okay, that's fine. Okay, great. We did get an island at least. So with this, we're going to play Balmor now. Wait. Okay, actually, hold on. Symmetry Sage now. We're only doing this now because, again, they're ramping, but they're a little slow right now. They don't have enough to get to their 7 or 8 drops. They can get Karn out. Blast Zone. They did not play the Blast Zone. So Golos is going to do its thing. I hate this card personally, but that's fine. It's not as bad as it used to be. Okay, they got another Blast Zone. All right, so here's our turn, everybody. Okay, so with that, Mentor's Guidance. Everything starts doing its thing here. We start going off here. Get our pumps. We draw another island. Okay, we're definitely gonna take that. All right, island. We will play... How do we do this? Okay, I think... Static Discharge to their face. We will play... That's down to 17. Okay, big swing here. Opponent, do you block? They do. Okay. Down to 5. Alright, this is it, everybody. Do we win or lose here? Mind Stone. Do they give off a Blast Zone here? Ooh, okay. So here's how we do this, everybody. I think I know how we do this. Birthday Escape. Pumping up Balmor. Monastery Swiftspear goes off. We draw a card. Okay, great. This is awesome. Okay. Ring Bearer on Balmor. Mountain. Monastery Swiftspear again. Our opponent has no choice. They're going to have to use the Blast Zone if they want to survive. But I think that's it for us. So, Reckless Charge. Did we get there? I think we might have won here. I don't think of anything our opponent has. Alright, so with that. Okay, here it comes. Watch. The Blast Zone. As I figured. But that doesn't kill Balmor. Because we still won no matter what. Alright. Wow, the deck is still amazing, even on a budget. That's awesome. I love this deck. Alright, my fiery friends, here we go. We are playing our Izzet Temptation deck. And will our Lord of the Rings cards get us to victory? Are they better than what the original version of the deck has? We're about to find out. So, oh, actually, okay, we have plenty of creatures, but not really any spells to go off except Mentor's Guidance. It's okay, it's okay. We're still going to keep this anyway, guys. Because we can start off with the Symmetry Sage, we can put out Monastery Swiftspear, we can use Mentor's Guidance to start drawing into more action. Opponent, are you there? You're gonna time out. Oh, okay, they are there. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so Island, Symmetry Sage, another Pathway Land, Cathartic Pyre. Ooh, okay. Are they... Okay, they're gonna try to reanimate as fast as they can. Yikes. Okay. It's fine, everybody. I'm not scared. Sulfur Falls. Okay. Monastery Swiftspear. Second Symmetry Sage. We swing with our Swiftspear. We do have 2 Mentor's Guidance, which is nice for us. So next turn, we can put down our next Swiftspear, and then hopefully we can just get super aggro here. Hopefully we can draw into at least one of our cards. Okay. Opponent is going to be doing more of their looting. Okay, I'm going to have be reanimating stuff next turn. Yikes. Okay. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Okay, so Mentor's Guidance. Start going off here. We will pump up Symmetry Sage. Second Symmetry Sage. Prowess goes off. Copy now also triggers off Symmetry Sage again for both of them. So, wow, everything gets pumped up here. Woo! Okay, so put away the other Mentor's Guidance. I want to draw into at least one burn spell. Hurricane is down. Mountain. That's okay. That's fine. Big swing here. Down to 5, everybody. Ooh, okay. We need at least 1 or 2 burn spells, and we can still get a win here. Our opponent's going to do the reanimation shenanigans. Get Jin, get Taxis. Okay. I still think we can win here, everybody. So here we go. Balmor. Mentor's Guidance. I think that's game. Okay, so... Yes, we got there. Despite how fast the reanimation deck is, we are much faster than that. Oh my goodness. This deck is just explosively powerful if you let it go off. And there you have it, everybody. So that was our Izzet Temptation deck, a budget version of the Izzet Wizards deck in Historic. And you tell me in the comments below, what do you think? Are you a fan of this deck in any way, shape, or form? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think it actually really matters whether you use Shocks, Ranger's Firebrand, or Birthday Escape. The deck is still explosively powerful. So it's not so much that the spells themselves are what matters. What matters is getting at least 1 or 2 of your key cards, such as Balmor, Dreadhorde Arcanist, get your Symmetry Sage out. Heck, even Monastery Swiftspear still pulled it off. So this is actually pretty solid if you do want to play something that's fairly competitive on a budget in ranked. I will argue though that I don't know if Sulfur Falls is the ideal card here, and that's only because It did come in tapped a couple of times in our games, which was a little awkward, but even with those stumbles, we still managed to pull off some pretty powerful and explosive turns. So I'm honestly really satisfied with the deck. Now, having said that, if you really are interested in upgrading this deck, I'm sure there's a ton of deck lists out there, so I'll show you real quick my version of it that I would recommend for you if you do want to do this and you want to go all out with the Izzet Wizards game plan. Now, if you're looking to upgrade the deck, most of what you're going to see on screen right now is the standard version that is currently already in the historic format. So this should come as no surprise. Instead, we'll put in the Soul Scar Mage instead of Monastery Swift Spear. We'll then put it in Expressive Iteration. We'll trim down a Balmor Battle Mage Captain. You could argue that Expressive Iteration can already be added to the budget deck we just discussed, but hear me out for a second. With this version that we have upgraded, now we have a much better dual land mana base, which can support Expressive Iteration much easier. So take that in consideration and take that how you will. Otherwise, most of the other deck is pretty much already completely intact, so you don't have to change anything. If you, again, do like the Lord of the Rings cards, by all means play them and strip them out versus play with Fires and Considers. But if you do want, again, a much more instant speed response against your opponent, then Considers and Play with Fire are perfectly serviceable. This is going to be, again, your personal preference. Same thing also with the sideboard. Again, the deck is designed to handle things in the best of one format, but if you do want to go into best of three, the sideboard that we put together for the budget deck is perfectly fine. And then if you do want to switch anything out, that'll be, again, just adjusted based upon what's going on in the meta. But overall, my final thoughts I'm going to say on the deck is Izzet Wizards, no matter how you cut it, is an extremely powerful deck in the historic format and already functions very well if you do want to play it in best of one. So obviously this is going to be as no surprise. If you do want to rank up, this is definitely going to be one of the best decks you could play currently. However, I personally think that with the Lord of the Rings cards that were added in, the slight tweaks that we showed you today can actually push the deck over and in some situations might actually make it better than the original version. However, it's still, again, as I'm going to say one more time, it's still too early for us to figure out what's currently going on and what's going to be ideal. Maybe we might want to trim these cards back. Maybe we do want to just go back to the original version. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think if you've already played this deck? Either way, however you want to slice it, if you do like to play this type of deck where you can get extremely explosive, powerful turns out of nowhere and just smash your opponent as fast as sometimes turn 3, give this deck a try. And I assure you, when you get that win after slinging a couple spells and smashing your opponent with a giant creature, you will definitely not be disappointed. That's all I have for you today. Thanks again for watching, everyone. And just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. Later.